Dillian the Body Snatcher right here. It's a champ. Big up to Sporting Icon. Subscribe. Otherwise, I might pay you guys a visit.
So quite a few people were unhappy about the fact that I pointed out a fact, and it was just a fun little fact. It wasn't really a dig as such. I understand why people may take it as a dig, but it wasn't really. Well, the fact that, yes, fact, not opinion. I know some Wildettes, the extreme fans, the Wilder Protector channels, these kind of ones, they don't know the difference between an opinion and a fact. They have this illusion that if they really believe in something, that their opinion is in fact a fact. It's not, it's still an opinion. And you can't talk to these people really when it comes down to that. So anyway, in this video that I did, 2 days ago now, I pointed out the fact that Anthony Joshua has beaten 4 of the top 10 WBC ranked opponents. And the reason for this is because, guess what? Deontay Wilder must fight 1 out of the top 15 as a voluntary if the Joshua fight doesn't happen, of course. And it does look like it's going to be Dominic Brazil and Anthony Joshua left over. Of course, because what he won't want to do is fight the number 1. Heaven forbid. Will you want to do that? Of course not. Now, of course, people say, well, the rankings ain't real and they're all corrupt and you buy them and whatever else. Okay, first of all, again, opinion. Second of all, I agree. I don't particularly like the rankings, to be honest. I wouldn't have the rankings as it is. I have to be perfectly honest in that one. I don't. But it's a fact that Wilder must fight as a voluntary 1 of the top 15. And out of the top 15, Anthony Joshua has already beaten 5 of those. Okay, but I did it as a top 10. I didn't do the whole 15. And out of the top 10, Wilder has only beaten 1. Fact, not an opinion. But you don't like the WBC rankings. What, even though Wilder must fight one of these guys? It's not like he can go across and fight somebody from another sanctioning body who's not ranked by the WBC. Listen, that's a fact. But okay, let's not use the WBC ones, even though your boy is the champion of that. And as I said, there's so many people who are unhappy about me pointing out a fact. And for whatever reason, they decide to criticize me for those of them who have channels. Criticize me because I pointed out a fact and call me stupid, a darts fan, a snooker fan. And yeah, of course, I'm talking about old Tampax Boxing, who's best friends with 78 spots of an STD. These kind of ones. Just can't stop talking about them, really. Can't stop talking about me, little me. I've only been here for a year. What's wrong with you? Okay, you've been here for like 20 years. So anyway, the old snooker fans, this guy who seems to think that he's hip, he's 50 years old, takes Viagra, actually English, but very rare did he actually admit that. But clearly he doesn't like British because I'm presuming he got bullied as a kid over here. So he has a real issue with English people, British people. And he's over there in Florida, 50 years old, out of shape, angry all the time with the world, and calls himself a facts king. Yet, out of the videos that I've seen, I've yet to hear him provide one fact. Everything is an opinion, but he can't differentiate between the difference between an opinion and a fact. Old Tampax Boxing. He can't do it. And yes, you see, he insults me for months. And I did one little response to him. And guess what? I get a response from the entire clique about me because I criticise him once. And they're criticising me because I do it one time. Yet he sat there, yeah, he's picking on me, yeah. Yeah, he's been goading me for months. What a victim, really. What an absolute girl. As I said, 50 years old, still wearing baseball caps, stood there thinking you're hip and gangster and tough guy. Behave yourself, you're in Florida. Ain't no gangsters over in Florida. Who's going to run up on you? Mickey Mouse? Cinderella? Buzz Lightyear? Is he going to blast you with his laser? Goofy? Donald Duck? Who's going to run up on you in Florida? Disneyland? No, nobody from Disney is going to be running up on you. What the hell's wrong with you? Facts king. Don't like British fans because they have a different opinion, so therefore they must be racist or a coon. Unbelievable, because I have a different opinion. What, people aren't allowed to have a different opinion to you? Tough guy. NASCAR fan. Because everybody over here in the UK are darts fans and snooker fans. I don't know anybody who likes them sports, to be perfectly honest, I don't. But anyway, it must be kind of popular because Sky Sports show them. Don't watch it myself, and yes, they are some kind of skill, a skill that I don't possess. I can't play darts, I can't play snooker, I have to be perfectly honest. But still, it's better than what he likes, NASCAR. Old NASCAR fan over there, who requires zero skill, except put your foot down, turn the steering wheel slightly left, because that's all you do. You go round a circuit of a donut. He's making a left turn. That's all he does. He's making a left turn. No right turn. It's not like Formula 1 where you go around a circle or that kind of thing. NASCAR fans, that's what these guys are. And if it's not NASCAR, they're like American football. I don't watch it myself. My cousin's a huge fan of American football. He's been playing it ever since he was a small kid. Admittedly, he is the size of a freaking house. He's got to bend over and go sideways to come through any damn door in any standard house in the UK. He's a beast of a guy, but he loves American football. So he wouldn't be happy with me calling it rugby with pads and helmets. Your big Jessies need pads and helmets. Over here, we play this and we don't require pads, we don't require helmets, and we don't change the entire team every 30 seconds. And you call it football, yet you run around with it in your hands. Interesting, isn't it? NASCAR fan, he's making a left turn. Unbelievable. Go make another hangout. Go cry, Tampax Boxing. Huh? Go make another hangout. Rage a little bit. Little caveman. Because all you do, you rant and rave like a caveman. I'm not the best speaker in the world, don't get me wrong. But you, my God. What is wrong with you? 50 years old. Gangster, yeah. Know what I'm saying? It's your boy. Behave yourself. Get over yourself, 50 years old. Damn, got fleas in your beard, man. Anyway, so the rankings. Let's carry on with the facts. I've already done the WBC rankings. Let's look at the official world rankings, shall we? Again, I don't agree with the rankings, but they are a fact. Just because Tampax Boxing doesn't agree with the rankings does not make it a fact. Okay, out of the top 20 in the world, so this is all sanctioning bodies together, all under one umbrella, shall we say. Number one is Anthony Joshua. Why? Gold medalist. Unified heavyweight champion of the world. 3 of the main 4 belts in only 21 fights. Undefeated. The cash cow. Number 2, the bronze bomber, Deontay Wilder. So he has actually improved from bronze, what he got at the Olympics, in arguably the worst ever heavyweight Olympics. I remember at the time where the commentators would criticise and say, who the hell is this Wilder guy? And yet he only managed to get bronze. But he's improved a little bit now. Anyway, after 40 fights, he's ranked number 2 behind a 21-fight novice. When both of them had round about the same amount of amateur experience. No excuses, really, is there? So anyway, Anthony Joshua out of the official world rankings. Fact, just because you don't like him doesn't make it a fact. Your opinion don't mean anything. It's a fact. Anthony Joshua could be fighting number 3 ranked opponent, Alexander Povetkin, next if the Wilder fight doesn't happen. But we're not going to include that one, okay? So he's beaten Dillian White, Joseph Parker, Dominic Brazil, so that's 3, Charles Martin, number 4, and Carlos Takam, 5. So he's beaten 5 out of the top 20. How many is Wilder beaten in the top 20? Luis Ortiz. Keep on going down. Oh, that's it. 1? Really? 1 in 40 fights? Really? Oh, bless. So again, fact, not an opinion. Facts king. Really, if you are the best that your clique over there, your racist cult has to offer, damn, really damn. Tampax Boxing. So let's have a look at the resume. Let's cross the resume, shall we? Again, let's use facts, not opinion. Just because I strongly believe something does not make it a fact. But we're going to go by fact, not an opinion. Because if we were to go by your facts, Tampax Boxing, then you would probably have Duapa ranked number 1 and Spilka ranked number 2, just to make it look that way. Why? Because you're biased as hell. Nothing wrong with that. You should always support your own, even though you don't, because you're British. Right, Florida gangster Mickey Mouse wannabe. Anyway, so Anthony Joshua, 21 fights in, unified champion, beaten How many undefeated fighters? Gary Cornish. I'm doing this off the top of my head, by the way. Gary Cornish, Dillian Whyte, Charles Martin, Dominic Brazil, Joseph Parker. That's 5 undefeated guys in the last 7 fights. How many undefeated fighters has Wilder beaten in the last 7 fights? Actually, in 40 fights. That would be... that would be 1, Luis Ortiz, which happened to be in his 40th fight in 10 years. Should we carry on comparing the resumes? Alrighty then. Okay, so Deontay Wilder didn't fight anybody until in the top 100 ranked by the world official, not opinion, fact. He didn't fight anybody in the top 100 until his 29th fight against Lakovic, who's ranked 43rd in the world. Okay, again, it's not WBC, this is the world rankings, okay, at the time of when he fought them. Okay, 30th fight, he fought Nikolai Further, 121st in the world. 31st fight, Malik Scott, ranked number 86th in the world. Malik Scott, who just got previously knocked out by Derek Chisora, of all people, and when Wilder hit him on the gloves, he went down like he'd been kicked in the plums. I don't know anybody who could not have taken that shot on the gloves, even way he did, rolling around. If you ever want to see a case of a dive in a fight, that would be the fight to watch. Wilder versus Malik Scott, go watch it. So Malik Scott in his 31st fight ranked 86th in the world. His 32nd fight, the fight before he becomes a world champion, or sorry, he fights for a world title, he fights Jason Gavin, who is ranked 194th in the world. Don't get me wrong, Joshua's also beaten Gavin, but not in his 32nd fight. Even so, 32 fights in, he fights 1 in the top 100. Sorry, 2. Malik Scott 86th and Lakovic 43rd. So he fights 2 in the top 100 in 32 fights, then gets a world title shot. Yeah, Tampax Boxing over there and his best mate, 78 spots of an STD, seem to think that Dillian Whyte's done nothing to deserve a title shot. What exactly did Wilder do? Please tell us, what is it that Wilder's done compared to Dillian Whyte, who doesn't deserve a title shot, even though Dillian Whyte is ranked number 1? Interesting, isn't it? Now, he then fights Bermane Stiverne, who was champion. Yes, he was champion because he won a vacant title by beating Chris Arreola, who he'd already beaten previously. And the title was vacant. Why? Because Vitaly Klitschko vacated it. So, again, Tampax Boxing, he tends to criticise Anthony Joshua, calling him a paper champ because he beat Charles Martin, who Charles Martin beat Glasgow for a vacant belt after it was stripped from Tyson Fury. Doesn't matter whether it is stripped or vacated, it's still a vacant title, lug nuts. Why don't you get it? So if Joshua was a fake champion or a paper champion, then guess what? Wilder still is, because he got his title the same way. Yeah? Right, we've got that bit cleared up. Now again, you see, people will say, or Tampax Boxing will say, it was a different climate. He's taking a left turn. NASCAR drive fan. Anyway, it's a different climate back then, you see. So Joshua was given these things with Charles Martin. Yet Charles Martin, was he not a PBC fighter with Al Heyman, who, guess what, also advises and manages or whatever, Deontay Wilder. So 2 of his guys in his stable, yet Anthony Joshua manages to get Charles Martin, but Al Heyman couldn't afford for a unification between Charles Martin and Deontay Wilder. Now, I'm sure you guys have got some kind of excuse, because when you guys can't argue the facts, you could probably come up with, he ducked Deontay Wilder, he ducked him. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He went after the most money. Wilder couldn't afford it. Interesting, yet he's got 50 million to give to Joshua. Isn't that amazing? Clearly he needs Joshua's name. I wonder how that is. So he had the opportunity to unify, but didn't against his own stablemate? Really? He didn't. Right, okay. Different climate. Right, okay, so that's the one. Different climate. So Joshua was given these things. That's why he could do it in 21 fights. That's why Wilder didn't do it in 21 fights. Yeah, Wilder didn't fight anybody in the top 100 until his 29th fight. But yet Derek Chisora, he managed to get a title shot against Vitaly Klitschko. Manuel Charr managed to get a title shot against Vitaly Klitschko, who's a WBC champion, and what? Wilder couldn't? Interesting. He's making a left turn. Yeah, Brian Jennings managed to get a title shot against Vladimir Klitschko. Tony Thompson managed to get a title shot against Vladimir Klitschko. David Haye managed to come up from cruiserweight to get a world title, WBA, and then unify against Vladimir Klitschko. But yet Wilder couldn't because he was a different climate. Lug nuts. And you ranting and raving like a caveman does not make it a fact. Calling people idiots. You have yet to do a fact. Can't believe I'm actually talking about this. Can you believe I'm having to talk about this because Lugnuts over there can't keep my name out of his mouth. Insulting British fans. But yeah, I'm insulting him now. 78 spots of an HTD. Let's do another hangout. I'm a victim. And if he doesn't do that, what's he going to be doing? Flipping tables in his house, but wrecking his house. That I bet he rents. He probably don't even have a mortgage on it. I bet you. Bet you anything. I bet he's a pizza delivery driver with fleas in his beard. So anyway, Deontay Wilder is champion in his 33rd fight by beating Bermane Stiverne. Yep, Bermane Stiverne. As his first title defence, because bearing in mind, even though it's a different climate back then, of course, his own manager, Shelley Finkel, said, well, he's only had 33 fights, he's still a prospect. He's not ready for unification. Not ready. Again, fact, not an opinion. His own manager, his own team said this. Wilder didn't want the opportunity there. Didn't want it. Anyway, first defence, Eric Molina, ranked 37th in the world. Got rocked badly. He went on Bambi legs. Eric Molina, had he not been a school teacher, would have finished him off. Again, fact. 35th fight. So, again, as he's still champion, he's fighting Johan Duapa, who is 34th in the world. And got busted up. Wilder's face was swollen to hell. But, yeah, the resumes between Wilder and Joshua are so, well, they're like identical twins. They could almost be conjoined. You know what I mean? 36th fight. He defends his title against Arthur Spilker, who was 24th in the world. So at this point, Spilker is actually his best opponent. Again, like the rankings or don't like the rankings, makes no difference. Your opinion is your opinion, not a fact. Then after then, he fights Chris Arreola in his 37th fight. Chris Arreola, 43rd in the world. Lost twice to Bermane Stiverne and Lord knows whoever else. Managed to get a couple of decision wins, even though we all know he actually lost those fights. But yet, Wilder gives him an opportunity. But he was supposed to fight Povetkin back then, wasn't he? That's right. But because Wilder couldn't afford to outdo Povetkin for 7.1 million, yeah, he can afford 50 million for Joshua, right? But couldn't afford against Povetkin because he had to wait until it went to purse bid rather than give him a voluntary beforehand. So he then got forced to go to Russia and all that kind of stuff. Povetkin failed the A sample, and before the B sample was even drawn, Wilder was back on the plane from Sheffield because he trained over in Sheffield before he went over to Russia, and the sample was actually within the legal limit. Because as I've said before, 6 weeks previous, that PED was legal. I agree, it shouldn't have been in the system anyway. But he was within the legal limit. Wilder ran away and the WBC protected him, hence the reason why Povetkin has now countersued and won. And he's actually going for even more liable damages by asking for 34 million. Damn. Anyway. So yes, he ran away from Povetkin. Legally, by the rules, he should have been fighting Povetkin. Actually, legally by the rules, talking of PEDs, did you know marijuana is actually on the list? But yet, Wilder hasn't received a ban? Unbelievable. One rule for one, another for another. Here we go. WBC protection program all over again. So where were we? Chris Arreola, yeah, 43rd in the world. Then his 38th fight, he takes on Jared Washington, who, why did he do that? When he said, no, I don't want to fight Dillian White. No, I don't want to fight Luis Ortiz or anybody dangerous, of course. I want Jared Washington. Why? Because Jared Washington was polite, he shook my hand and he was nice. Yeah, Wilder shouting around like a freaking lunatic, like Tampax boxing over there. Yeah, he thinks that he deserves a title shot. What's he done to deserve a damn title shot? What has he done? Nothing. He's been holding that belt hostage. It's very, very clear. Jared Washington ranked 41st in the world in his 38th fight and his 1, 2, 3, 4 and his 5th defence. In his 6th defence after then, he takes on Bermane Stiverne, who had one fight since he lost to Wilder. 2.5, 3 years previous to, where Bermane Stiverne had one fight against Derek Rossi where he got dropped in that fight and arguably lost that fight, but then becomes official mandatory and Wilder blasts him out in 1 round and people jump up and down like he's just won the lottery, like he's just beaten a Vladimir Klitschko. Wow. Bermane Stiverne, who got beat up in sparring, preparing for this fight by Joe Joyce, who had yet to have a pro fight at that time, and yet walks into Wilder, man, out of shape. He was just a potato sack with dreadlocks, wasn't he? But yeah, this was a huge victory because he knocked him out in 1 round. Yeah, it was brutal, no doubt. Yes, Bermane Stiverne was trying to do the limbo under the bottom rope. Very impressive. But it was Bermane Stiverne. Then he took on Luis Ortiz. So he actually fought one guy, one credible guy in 40 fights. Yeah, you guys want to compare resume? But his one credible guy was never a unified champion like a Vladimir Klitschko. No, he wasn't. His best win for Luis Ortiz, again, I don't be critical of him because I like him. Again, rumoured to be older than Vladimir Klitschko, right? His best win, Bryant Jennings, who lost previously to Vladimir Klitschko. His next best win, Tony Thompson, who had also been stopped twice by Vladimir Klitschko, beaten twice by Vladimir Klitschko. Possibly 3 times. How many times did Tony Thompson and Vladimir Klitschko have a fight? Off the top of my head, I think it's twice, I'm not sure. But even so, Tampax Boxing, compare resumes, because they have similar resumes. Yeah, Josh had 21 fights. Different climate, as I said. Not really, because if Derek Chisora can get a damn title shot, and Tony Thompson can, and Bryant Jennings can, and Manuel Char can, and Pianetta can, and other people can, why couldn't Deontay Wilder? Why couldn't he? And yet you want to compare resumes. You're not the facts king. You're not at all. He's making a left turn. Look out, Mickey Mouse has got a gun. Seriously, man. Absolutely seriously. So, this is all facts. I gave you 100% facts here. Not one of this was an opinion. Right? None of it was an opinion. If Vladimir Klitschko was still fighting now, do you think he'd be in the top 20 in the world? You can bet your ass he will be. Future Hall of Fame. No doubt. Has Wilder beaten a Hall of Famer? No. Not one of these guys will ever be a Hall of Famer. None of them. Compare resumes. Behave yourself. Stop it. Really stop it. You're embarrassing yourself. And yet your followers? Yeah, Tampax Boxing. Facts. Facts. Yeah. You don't do facts. You shouting around like a damn caveman, insulting me and other people, and then get all butthurt because somebody responds to you? Oh dear. And see, I don't like doing responses. And it's not technically a response, really. It's a case of, I'm proving a fact to everybody. This clown over there, this English, British clown who clearly got bullied over here, that's why he doesn't like people, and racist against anybody who's not black American, even though he's not black American. Weird that, isn't it? He's black British. The difference. So, yeah, Joshua, is a fact, out of the WBC rankings that Deontay Wilder has to face, he has beaten 4 of the top 10. Wilder has beaten 1. Resumes, wild apart. A whole world apart. Yet you want to say that these guys have fought similar? And Joshua is a fake. Joshua should be stripped. Joshua is the worst champion ever. Look at your guy. Really, look at him. What's he done? What's he achieved? He ain't done nothing. Tampax Boxing. Everyone else, click the thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you all on the next video. Facts.